Why did Lucifer try to claim the body of Moses? Why would the Prince of Darkness leave his throne of shadows just to fight for a corpse? And what happened on that mountain when no man was watching, but heaven and hell held their breath? This is a mystery almost no church talks about, a battle not of swords, but of authority. You're about to see just how dangerous Moses truly was, even in death. The man who saw God the air was still on Mount Nebo. Below, the promised land stretched out like a dream Moses would never touch. After 120 years, 40 years of miracles and leading a stubborn people, the servant of God stood on the edge of history in exile. He was the man who had seen the burning bush, split the sea, and spoken face to face with the Almighty. But he would not enter the land because he had struck the rock in anger, dishonoring God. This was divine justice, but not abandonment. God himself ensured Moses' departure was not ordinary. The hidden custody, there were no mourners, no family, no ritual burial. God himself buried him. Deuteronomy 34:6 says, "No man knows the place of his burial to this day." Why such secrecy? God wasn't protecting a memory. He was protecting a mystery, and someone wanted that mystery exposed. Lucifer had watched Moses his whole life, and he wasn't finished. Even in death, Moses remained a threat to the kingdom of darkness. His life was a message that, even after failure, intimacy with God is possible, and that God still owns his servants. Lucifer couldn't allow that message to remain untouched. Lucifer's trespass, the sun had not yet risen over the land of Moab, but something darker than night had already descended. Lucifer had arrived, not in chains, but with a majesty twisted by rebellion, moving like a phantom. He knew exactly where Moses was hidden. This was not about bones. This was about spiritual leverage. If Lucifer could touch what God had buried, he could corrupt what God had sealed. He could drag the corpse into mockery, inspire idolatry, and sabotage Moses' legacy, turning the law into a tool of control. Michael's authority, Lucifer raised a hand toward the silent grave. Then a presence arrived, not thunder, but authority. The Archangel Michael descended, clothed in heaven's light, his face like lightning. He didn't draw a blade. He simply stood between Lucifer and the grave. Lucifer stepped forward, his voice venomous. "The body is mine." He failed. He disobeyed. "He belongs to death, and death belongs to me." Michael did not argue. He did not debate theology. He spoke only one sentence, found in Jude 1:09. "The Lord rebuke you." Lucifer recoiled not from Michael's strength, but from the authority behind his voice. Lucifer lost his claim because the covenant Moses represented was sealed by God himself. This was a divine verdict, a courtroom decree from the throne above all thrones. Lucifer vanished in fury. Michael remained to guard what heaven had hidden. Why did Lucifer, the Prince of Darkness, come in person for Moses and not for other prophets? Because Moses' body was a key to three truths. Lucifer feared. 1. The key to law and legacy. Moses was the foundation of God's covenant with man. He received the law that defined sin and pointed toward Christ. Lucifer knew that if he could distort Moses' remains, he could weaponize the law-turning reverence into religious obsession and distracting Israel from the God Moses served. He wanted to build religion without relationship. 2. The key to God's glory. Moses' body was marked by the glory of God. He had stood on Sinai and seen the back of God's glory. His face had shone with divine light. Lucifer is a hoarder of power. He sought to defile what once radiated divine glory, to corrupt the symbol of redemptive failure. If Moses could fail and still be buried by God, Lucifer feared the hope men would cling to. 3. The key to prophecy and resurrection. Lucifer understood prophecy. He knew that Moses would not remain in the dust. Centuries later, Moses would stand with Elijah on the Mount of Transfiguration, speaking with Jesus about his coming death. Lucifer wanted to interrupt that divine moment, to sabotage prophecy itself. Michael was defending the continuity of God's plan. The battle for Moses' body wasn't just about a prophet. It was a mirror for every servant of God. It teaches us, your legacy is claimed by God. Moses had flaws, yet God sent Michael to defend his grave. Your life Your body, your story, it is claimed by God and off limits to the enemy. Satan still trespasses. Lucifer had no legal right, yet he came anyway. When the enemy whispers over your failures, reminding you of sin God has already forgiven, remember that weapon. The Lord rebuke you. Michael acts on decree. So can you. Heaven defends you in the unseen. Moses never saw this battle, but heaven fought for him anyway. There are battles raging right now over your life and your future that you don't even know about, but God does. If God will send an archangel to protect the body of a flawed prophet, how much more will he send help, miracles, and divine rebukes to protect your calling? You've been watching Bible Mysteries, where the lost chapters of Scripture come alive with fire. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video if it stirred your spirit, because the war between light and darkness is still unfolding, and you're part of it.